In this video, I'm going to bring you through the exact process of how we track, scale, and produce content at scale as we were trying to grow companies to multiple 7 or 8 figures. And in this video, I'm going to actually bring you through a case study of how we are essentially transforming a 7-figure company, a low 7-figure company, to a multiple 7-figure company and potentially also 8 figures. I'm going to show you exactly the growth period and what we're getting into 2025 with this specific brand. I'm super excited because this is a great market. I love the company, I love the brand, let's go through this detail because if you know how to track, how to produce, and how to analyze your entire content base, and you have a very organized and structured way and framework of producing profitable content that actually drives sales, that's when you have that extra leverage over your competitors. So let's go through these details. There's a lot to cover as usual, and with no further ado, let's get right into it. Great, so as usual, as we always do, let's show the proof. This is just the client that we're actually in the process of scaling. And if we, they were doing, let me just move my big head over here. And as you can tell over here, the brand was doing, and we were already kind of like working with them for a while. They were averaging $100,000 a month. So as we got into, I believe, October, let me just look very quickly since we're doing this. We onboarded them in October, so off season, and so this was basically the period where we started getting into the process of optimizing their current processes, systems, how they produced content and stuff like that. So as you can see, like we started growing by like around 20-30% as soon as we went to the account. We stabilized the account, and then of course in November, that's where we obviously started to scale quite aggressively. And so the month of November, I'll keep moving myself, is where we started really growing into, these numbers. And of course, now we have to identify a couple of different things here, that we went from like 5K days, if you take a look here, 5, 6, whatever. Sometimes it was more, sometimes it was less. And then we scaled it up to like 19,000, but I think we did more. What's the problem here? Yesterday, last month. Okay, 1 second. Last 30 days. If you look at the last 30 days, we basically hit like we kept on going up, and we kept on going up, of course, even after Black Friday. So this was November 29th was Black Friday, but even if we could have scaled a bit more, honestly, but and so the margins were very healthy. But even after Black Friday, we scaled quite aggressively. Typically, across all of our clients, Black Friday is the biggest day, even compared to Cyber Monday or like the days in between. So we were kind of surprised that we were able to reach the scale. This was also a surprising day. Whenever we're working with brands that are, pretty new to the market, like kind of like this one. This brand was only like 3 to 4 months old before we came in, so they didn't have a big customer base or anything like that. And so we really focused on building that creative foundation. And so we started launching new creatives. Many of the creative concepts that were also new performed on the account. And so what actually got us over here, other than the creative foundation, is of course also product market fit. There was just the perfect combination of a good product within a market. And then of course we completely boosted the results by doing good media buying for sure, but also just honing down on creative concepts, angles, and that's how we scaled. Okay, let me show you exactly what we did with this client and what we do for all the other clients to track results and produce content at scale, and make sure that we're spending time on where we should spend time. And I'm going to talk about this concept in just a second. I'll go through it in more detail. But this is essentially the case study. Let me refresh so you know this is real. The case study, the result, whatever you want to call it. And this is the client for now. I think that by next year we will stabilize to around $10,000 a day. Hopefully, that's the goal. And as you can see, the return customer rate is only 5%. So we're going to start introducing new products and actually building a brand, right? Because you can't build a brand with like 1 or 2 products. You have to start expanding your product line. You have to start being creative with how you grow and introduce new offers to the market or to your audience. Okay, let's go on over here. I want to show you a couple things. I'm going to share, how we scaled an ecom brand to 30K per day, and I would add without expecting it, because going from 5-6K per day to like 30 without an audience is not really typical. Typical, I would say. So really excited about this brand. I think we can do very well. So this is what I'm going to talk about in this video. How to track tracking winning concepts, how we handle with this process, and why it helps us scale brands, scaling with angles and creative concepts. I'm going to bring you through the process of how we do that, so that we essentially work and spend most of our resources, time and energy and money and investments on things that can actually produce an ROI when it comes to creatives and scaling creatives. And then a fast and cheap content production procedure that we use to test in a very fast way, to get content in a very fast way, but also a cheap way and reliable way, while still maintaining a very high quality type of content, which is what we need. Okay, so first of all, this is my favorite topic: tracking winning concepts. There's nothing worse, okay, than actually taking decisions without data and without knowing for a fact that every single decision that you take on your account or that you give to your team, meaning decisions that you want your team to take, meaning, okay, focus on that, or focus on plan A, focus on plan B. Everything needs to have a specific calculated decision that is based on data and analytics. Okay, so we use two main tools, let's call them, to essentially track creative performance. What do I mean by track creative performance? I essentially mean we know what ad copies work, not just by looking at the ad account, with actual breakdowns and data. We know what creative concepts work, whether it's a POV, a before and after, a UGC ad, stuff like that. And we know exactly what combinations of what work all together to make the profitable ad work. And also, we know what avatars work. I'm going to stop ranting because I can go on for this. I just want to show you perhaps how we do it. But we use two methodologies. Number one is Try Acha, which is a lovely tool that I use, and I can also jump in and show you. I can jump in and show you how it looks like. Although I have to be honest, I've always shown this tool basically in every video. So it's a very useful tool. And then Google Sheets, and I'm going to show you our Google Sheet process and how we do it. But this is a very useful tool. I think to get access to these features, you just need to pay $120 a month, something along those lines. But what this allows you to do is that, first of all, you have a dashboard, okay? And this is a very user-friendly dashboard. Nothing special. This is not why we use this tool. But in the last 7 days, we know that for this client, whatever we generated, 18,000, whatever the last 5 days, I forgot, 5 days, 7 days. This is the ROAS, this is CPA, the purchase value, basically the ad account, and just a snippet of a dashboard. It's like kind of like a triple whale or a true profit, something like that. Now, but the reason we use this is because this tool, Try Acha, allows us to break down every single aspect of the business. And this is where the gold is. This is where we dive deep and understand exactly what formats work. As you can see here, format. What's the age and gender by breakdown, and we can do it by spend and also by other filters. What's the platform that's getting the most sales? Really important. Top creative tags by spend. Is it a problem solution? Is it a testimonial? Is it a promotional discount? Is it a feature or benefit ad, a before and after? What ad angles? Was it a free gift, a limited time only, natural ingredients angle, gentle care, skin, like all these things, emotions, excitement, relief, confidence, urgency, trust, satisfaction. These things are also, they're not only kind of like things that this tool gets from the ad account, or by how we decide to name our ads, but it's also done by AI, meaning that it analyzes what you're putting in the ad account. So this is extremely important, extremely. And you don't maybe have to do this as you start. Like if you're starting out and you don't know what you don't have a product market fit, and you're trying to find something that sticks. You don't have to do all this complicated stuff. Like start doing it as you are sure that is the path that you want to take with that product, with that brand, with that ambitious kind of decision of saying, I'm going to do this for this brand, I'm going to go all in. You should start doing this as soon as you decide that, 100%. And then what I love about this is that it divides by top spends, by ads and creatives. So these are like, of course, I need to cover everything for confidentiality reasons. So these are basically ads, and we see, the breakdown of spend, and how much they're spending, and break down on ROAS. So this is basically the spend, and this is basically the ROAS. Spend, ROAS, and we can clearly see and we can, what the distribution and proportion of the spend is compared to the ROAS. And we can also do it by change the graphical representation, so to see it in a better way. Now, the other thing that I love over here is that, of course, these are just ads, as you see over here, which I had to cover, but it also gives you a top performing by ads, creatives, images, videos, video hooks, copies, headlines, landing pages, and they basically, depending on what you click here, these things change and they give you the right thing, right? And then of course you can filter by ROAS, and it will filter by the highest all the way to the lowest, and all the way to the lowest over here. So I absolutely love what they're doing over here with this tool. I couldn't recommend this more. And the long story short is that you need to have a perfect understanding of what your tests, what results your tests are bringing, so that you can make calculated decisions on what you should test as a next step. This is how we take decisions for the future. Okay, all based on data. Now let me show you the other kind of structure that we have, which is kind of like a, it's not a secondary, use them in parallel. We like to track as many things as possible. So let me just show you. So this that you see over here is basically how we track tests. I've gone through this sheet many times, but honestly, as I always say in my videos, I'm gonna keep on going through the same things because this is what works for us. There's a billion ways to do business, but this is what works for us. So I'm not gonna get tired of speaking about these things. And if you are tired about seeing me speak about maybe similar topics in other videos, maybe this is not the channel for you, but I'm going to keep on iterating on what is important. Now, these are basically, each ad set that we test is a creative test and is a row over here. So this is test 1, test 4, test 3, test 2. And what we do, just like the other sheet that I kind of showed you, not the other sheet, like try Ultra that we did, is that instead of having it, of course, that's a beautiful representation, but we go even deeper with like reminding us what is the marketing angle, what is the main emotion, the avatar customer that we went after, the hook, the messaging, the copy, the creative link, the ad format, and of course some of these things that were also in Try Ultra, but we also kind of like break it down by different metrics all in one column, so that we have a perfect understanding of whether it's a winner, it's to be determined, a winner, a loser, or a break even, right? Which is this one over here. And also we have a color coding. This is a demo, so this is kind of random, but we typically have like super precise color codings so that we know exactly how they're performing. With a blink of within like 10 seconds, we know, okay, this is green, this is red, and what to look for. And then of course, the beauty of having data in sheets is that you can filter, and you can filter by, okay, what's live, right? Or what is a winner? Or what gave us the best ROAS. This is why I like Google Sheets so much. There is so much in control. And then of course we also reproduce our own graphical representations. But by far, these are the most important things to track. The winning variation, so that we know exactly what worked. We typically have links over here, but most importantly, the notes, learnings, and next steps. These hidden last columns that don't seem really important or relevant are actually the most important thing to come up with and complete within the sheet. Right? Next notes, what worked, and what are the next steps. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense, but this is a really, really important process of how we decide how to scale brands. And we're doing it with this client. We're breaking down his entire business. We did a bunch of research before starting to do anything on the account, so we know exactly where we need to spend our money, time, resources, and team. Okay, if there's one thing I don't want is for my team to waste time. So one thing is for me to waste time, but if we have to waste other people's resources, it just doesn't make any sense. So this is the process that we use. Okay, and they don't like to waste time as well. So moving forward, scaling with angles and creative concepts. There's nothing better than, instead of just focusing on how you should structure in a super methodological, what if that's even a word, way, your ad account, which by the way should be a super simple setup. You shouldn't like spend hours doing that. You should focus all of your time on testing angles and testing creatives. I always say this. If you are new to my channel, welcome to my concepts. If you are not new, you probably hear me say it every single time. But these are kind of like the two options that we take when scaling, and what we specifically did with kind of this client. We took their winning angle, and then we started testing other variations, right? of creative concepts. So we have the winning angle over here, which is the main foundation and backbone of why things work. People are resonating with the angle that I'm selling this phone because it's thin, so it's comfortable. So this is one angle. The other angle could be that it has super high tech and it's like the best in the world. Another angle could be that it does amazing photography, right? So you get my point. And so I don't want to rant too much on that subject. But winning angle, that's what we started with. So their marketing angle that was a winner was something related to like, I can't actually say it, but it's something related to like health, right? And so we essentially doubled down on testing new creative concepts. So what's an example of a creative concept? Like a POV video, ASMR, a before and after AI UGC video, and stuff like that. And so what we did and what we tried to do with this kind of client is that because of the nature of the product, a kind of like a hypnosis or hypnotizing video worked very well. And so we basically focused on that concept, which was never tested by the client before, and it worked super, super well. So we tripled down on that even more. So this is an example of starting your marketing with something that you know works because it's through a winning angle, but evolving into other creative concepts, right? They're two different things, creative concepts and marketing angles. I'm going to show you some examples also. Another example that we started doing is that once we have, and this is something that we do less, it's like where we spend maybe 20% of our time doing eventually with our clients, is that we get the winning concepts, whether it's like this is just one, maybe we have like 3, we would focus on those and reproduce those contents, those creative concepts, but with new angles that have not tested before. So if like the ASMR video with like the super cool sound effects worked, we would get this concept, put it over here, and then test new angles with it, with the example that I just shared about the thinness, technology, the camera, stuff like that. Each one is a different angle. So this is probably what we do a bit less. Especially during the holidays, we don't want to test like completely new concepts that don't really make sense to test right now. We want to spend our time on things that actually are proven to work and that give us the highest ROI, or at least the highest chance of a possible high ROI. And this is the sheet that we use. Let me just show you how it works. I've showed you this several times before, but this is how we come up with new concepts. And I really advise you to do this as well for your own brand, because if you go over here, we have like a creative concepts sheet where we put all of our angles over here, and then we basically go in here and put all of the possible creative viral concepts that we've seen work well for this specific industry, and then we put like variations and example of ads. We have like 5-6 ads each, so we never kind of forget what a POV is, an educational video is, an ASMR AI song. Also, this concept is also very cool, where you do with AI, you do a song, and then you basically, it's like you make fun of like, it's like a fun AI song. Which can really work well. And so basically we go and do like double chin is the winning angle, cool, and then we test it with like complete new creative concepts, or vice versa. And then we have a list of hooks, but I already spoke about these things. I'm not going to go through too much in depth about this right now, but we have a very systematic way of tracking creative concepts, angles, and hooks, because this is what makes a creative, right? And so moving on over here, fast and cheap content production. I've also shown this diagram before, but just to briefly show you, I haven't really talked about these things too much, but just to briefly show you is that before going over this, the ideal thing that you can do to start off and be very, very fast at producing content is to get as much B-roll as possible, so that you can combine all the pieces of B-roll and create winning variations based on your control. So what would happen is that you essentially, these B-rolls, you would give them to a video editor, to all of your video editors, if you have 1, 10, whatever, how many you have. And so you essentially, what you do is that once you partner with a content creator, the video editor, all you need to do is essentially give them the script, right? So they know exactly what they need to be doing, right? And once they have the script, they can choose the different types of B-rolls that they need to combine to create a smooth storyline and video ad. And this is by far the best and most inexpensive way of coming up with content in a very fast way, probably within a couple of weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks at the most, and then having a really vast library that you can rely on to create your own storylines, right? If you were to do the traditional UGC video, where you just send the piece of, you should just send a script to the creator with like a storyboard or whatever, and they need to follow it and they need to film it, it's going to cost them the same amount than asking them to shoot like 15-20 b-rolls, which is raw videos without production or editing. So we never ask for fully edited videos. We always ask for super raw videos, which is, ends up being less expensive, and it ends up being an activity that gives us very, very high leverage when you ask for b-roll. Because once again, imagine getting b-roll from 5 creators, and then we have like 100, 200 pieces of content, and then the video editor can go in. Assuming they understand how the script works, they can go ahead and create these variations. And of course, here we have another AI script. And what we do is that we actually go and use tools like, for example, 11 Labs. I don't have the accounts. I actually don't even do these things. It's all my team. But you can go here and there's like text to speech, and you can write the text and it will do, it will do like a speech translation, if that's even the word, right? So you can do like this. You can choose
The 11 Labs voice generator can deliver high quality, human-like speech in 32 languages.
So this is a bit AI, so I would go in here and maybe change it to another person that it's in their diagram here. Let's see, Charlotte. But you have to test.
The 11 Labs voice generator can deliver high quality, human-like speech in 32 languages.
So yeah, that's a bit weird, kind of a bit weird voice, but yeah, you can change the accents. This is what my team uses. I think there's also other tools, but this is more than good enough. There's also like introduce a podcast, like you can tell a story. You can ask it to change based on what you're looking for exactly. So this is what we use, and of course you need to refine it to make sure that it looks realistic. So these are the tools that we use, okay? And once again, the most important thing here with the video editor is that, of course, they need to have a good understanding of how to build an e-commerce ad. That's a given. But many times video editors are not marketers. They don't understand what it takes to put things together and create a winning video ad. So the first thing that I would do is give them an example of like a video ad. So let's take the example, like this is like a video ad, a winning video ad. I would give them like, I don't know, like at least three video ads that they can kind of leverage as an example. You give it to them so they can study it, and at the same time you give them the AI script, because if they don't give it to them, don't have them do the AI script unless they have marketing experience, because this is where the marketer needs to arise. Like you need to be able to write good hooks, have a good storyline, so to keep it interesting, right? You need to know how to address pain points, introduce benefits or features. Like you need to be a marketer, right? So many times a video editor is not a marketer. And what happens is that I know that some of my clients within their video editors, some of their ads are not winning ads because they just have the entire process done by the video editor, and it shouldn't be their role. In fact, at our team, this is essentially what the process looks like. We have a creative strategist, and the creative strategist essentially briefs the video editor over here. I'm doing a bunch of different things. I'm just having fun with you right now. But essentially, this is what happens. And so the creative strategist goes ahead and writes the script and sends it over to along with a winning ad, so that there's inspiration to be taken from. And then the video editor just follows the script and takes inspiration from the winning ad. That's essentially what I just talked about. Okay, hopefully this makes sense. So be careful with video editors. They need to be trained. This only works if you have good video editors and you have good creative strategists. If you don't know how to do marketing scripts, this doesn't really make sense. You might as well just go ahead and send a video example like this one to a UGC creator and tell them do exactly the photocopy or use the structure of this winning ad and do it for me and customize it in this and that way for my own brand. But I prefer the other way, just because you have way more control and you can create, essentially you can launch multiple angles. You can adjust multiple things with the same type of footage, but with a different storyline and AI script. That's the main reason why we do it this way. And then of course we also we started using ARC ads, and we're really getting into AI UGC actors, but all these people are like fake. Like they're real, but they're AI generated. So the words are like AI generated, the accents are what they're saying, you can change what they're saying as a script, kind of like with 11 Labs, but with like an actual avatar customer. So it's text to speech, but with an actual person speaking. So let me show you an example of how good it looks like, but just to show you.
Avoid these two mistakes if you have an Android phone. Number one is getting too many useless emails. Number two is not being protected against spam. They are ruining your storage and productivity. Instead, try this app for free. CleanFox will block useless emails.
So what they're doing is that whenever they're using it, because like if you use them for like 60 seconds straight, you maybe can slightly notice that it's kind of AI. So they have like these frames and a lot of B-rolls with it. So we kind of do the same thing. Of course, we don't do it with like this, and I'm not sure what they're selling here, but this is another example.
This is the smartest gym bag to ever exist. The Conquer backpack from King Kong.
So they're combining B-rolls with AI, these AI people, and and it's quite decent pricing. One video is like $5 to $10, so it's not too expensive. Instead of paying $200 for one with a real person, you can spend $10 here, like 20 times cheaper. And so what we do mostly is, because we're still trying to see if this is going to be a good test for us, is that we use this for hooks. So when we want to test hooks fast without having to send the product back to the creator or reach out to them and pay them extra, we can just pay, for $5-10, we can just have like several different hooks that we can test and cut immediately, right? And then we can put these into like the initial parts over here of the, let's just say like hooks, hook 1, hook 2, right? So we can test variations, and that's how we do it. So hopefully this video was helpful. This is what we focus on for this specific client, honestly for all of our clients. But this is, I'm just sharing you kind of like a quick case study of this one over here. But this is how we track winning concepts. This is how we scale with angles and creative concepts, which I just went through. And then the fast and cheap content production way, which I just explained over here. Hopefully this video was valuable. Let me know if you have any questions. If you do have an e-commerce brand and you want the brand to be audited, we do have some slots open, and we're starting to finish up our collaborations, getting into Q1, of course, as it's the end of the year soon. And if you want an audit, I'll probably be on the call, or if it's not going to be, it's going to be somebody on my team, or we can just go and audit your brand. And of course, we can see if there's low-hanging fruit, potential, and an opportunity for us to do business together. If that's the case, great. If it's not, it's business. It's fine. Okay, that's it for this video. Leave comments below, ring the bell, like, do all that stuff to support the channel, and see you in the next one. Bye.